I really need to think of a way to start these videos a little bit better, don't I? Some sort of fancy intro. Hey guys, just a reminder just to hit subscribe if you want to get an alert every time one of my videos goes live. And of course, come and follow me over at Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays over there. Thank you very much. So let's talk about Discovery Season 3, Episode 5, Die Trying. Season 3, it's definitely finding its feet. Every episode for me has been getting better and better. Even last week, where it wasn't my favorite episode, it was still better than the episodes that come previously. And I think in this episode of all, it definitely has found its feet. In this episode, we finally find the Federation, what's left of Starfleet. And it's really cool. We find them behind this weird sort of almost like a cloaking device thing, and we find out that's been generated by the ships. And oh my god, the ships, right? The ships and the Starfleet headquarters, they made Discovery look dated. Like Discovery's design, everything about the ship looked old in comparison to what we saw. We meet Charles Vance, who's the CNC in Starfleet now, and things are not so good according to him. Not so good at all, according to him. At its peak, 350 members of the Federation. Now, 38. It's not going well. They are not that happy to see the Discovery crew. You thought they would, Discovery thought they would be, but they are not. Charles Vance here is like, you have broken temporal laws, first of all. Second of all, as we know at the end of Season 2 Discovery, all records of Discovery and the spore drive were expunged from Starfleet records. So as far as they know, Discovery was destroyed and never seen again. So as far as Starfleet is concerned, they don't even exist. And that's hard for the crew to hear. They're told that the crew will be reassigned, the ship is going to be requisitioned and retrofitted. But first of all, we get this really cool sequence where the crew are getting interrogated by holograms. Jet Reno has a great bit where he's like, can I get some food? Can I get this? Can I get that? It's really funny. Nan is one of my favorite bits as well, which is just like, I'm just going to give you my name, my serial number, and my position. That's it. Oh, you're going to get in brig. Okay. I'll give you my name, my position, I loved it. I loved that little bit of sort of, humor in rebelliousness of the Discovery crew as well. While we're at Starfleet headquarters, we also discover that there's a medical. They're in the middle of a medical emergency. There's some aliens have come across something, and they just don't know what's going on with them. Michael and Saru are like, "Oh, we can actually help with that. We've got the spore drive. We can go anywhere in a second. Let's go do that." Charles Vance is like, "No, we'll do it, but we'll take Stamets." So there's a little bit of pushback here and there, and in the end, Saru says, "Well, I will stay, and Burnham can go, and they can take a security guard." So they do, and they go find these. And this is a concept I really enjoy. A seed ship that's been in operation since the mid 20th century. They find out that it's a Barzan crew that are currently keeping an eye on the seed vault, and they find it in the midst of an ion storm. Now there's a bit of a moment with Detmer, but she gets through it, and they manage to pull the ship out of the ion cloud, and they find the Barzan crew. They find that the Barzan crew are actually a family. The away team is led by Burnham and has Nan, because she's Barzan as well, and Culber, who is becoming my third favourite Doctor. It goes EMH, then it goes McCoy, and then it goes Culber. I like him. He's a good Doctor. They find out what happened with the family. It turns out they come across a CME, a coronal mass ejection. They find out what happened. They find a way of fixing it, and they bring the dad back, but unfortunately his family is dead. He's catatonic because his family have died and there's nothing he can do. Eventually, Michael is able to sort of be like, we need you to help us, and he gives over the seeds that they need to help these other aliens. But he refuses to get medical attention, he refuses to leave his family. Nan, as a Barzan, volunteers to stay behind to help complete the mission, to help complete the first Barzan watch of the seed vault, because the guy's going to die in a few days. Discovery jumps back to Federation Starfleet headquarters. They create the cure, and happy days. So Starfleet go, cool, you guys can stay together even though you've got problems. One side story that happened was to do with Georgiou. She wasn't on this mission with them. So Saru stayed behind, but so did Georgiou. Georgiou had been pulled aside because they realized that she was a Terran. And so she went to an extra special interrogation, 2 holograms, which she managed to switch off by just going, just that, just blinking. Loved it. It was so good. And the explanation was so good. So much technobabble in this show, in this episode. It was brilliant. She ends up talking to this member of Starfleet personnel who has a special interest in Terrans. Not like any sort of reason why. It's just like he's been fascinated by them. But he reveals that she's alone, that they haven't had contact with Terrans for like 500 years. And he breaks Georgiou with that information. Like she loses it a little bit. She does. She loses it a little bit. And we see that at the end when Burnham asks her is she okay, and she sort of snaps in the way she does. So she's not okay. Georgiou is not okay, but it was a nice little I like that little side sequence that was happening as the main story was going on. Overall, there were some nice moments in this episode. I loved that the crew were getting excited about the ships that they saw at Starfleet headquarters, experimental stuff they'd never seen before, the sizes of them, stuff like that. It's a flying rainforest one from Tilly. I loved that. I loved the nods to the past as well. We saw a Voyager J, the 11th ship to bear the name Voyager. I mean, that got me a little excited. I thought that was very, very cool. We also saw, if you could also make out very, very briefly, was the USS Nog. It's been confirmed by Alex Kurtzman that it was an Eisenberg class ship. So there is actually a little tribute to the actor Aaron Eisenberg, who played the character of Nog in this episode, and I thought that was such a lovely, lovely thing. I loved the humor during the interrogations. Jet Reno continually asking for food, as I said. Stamets saying, "Oh, I've heard that a lot. Have you been speaking to Detmer?" Love that. Tilly going over how she became Captain Killy in the first season of Discovery. I really, really enjoyed that. And I loved the sequence that was the working experience, the working relationship between Stamets, Reno, and Tilly. Complete chaos, but it works. That's one of the things I love about Star Trek. You know, it doesn't matter that each of these characters are individually flawed or they don't get on together. They can do amazing things together when they put their minds to it. And I think there's only one annoying thing for me. Seems to be a thing in Discovery. But any time a character, a sort of minor character, has major character development in one episode, that's the episode they're written out or killed. And it's kind of annoying because I want to just get to know these characters. We don't have to Game of Thrones this. You don't have to get rid of every character that we love, right? Let us have these characters. This is Star Trek. This is we grow attached to these characters. We have some questions now. So questions raised by this episode. What is the mysterious music? What is that little lullaby that everyone seems to know about? What about Georgiou? She's become proper shaken up by what happened in that interrogation. She's clearly not well. And what's happening with Detmar? What's the future of Detmar? We know she's got PTSD. How long is it going to take her to get over it? Is she ever going to get over it? What's it going to lead to? Because she's a pilot. She's supposed to be the cocky, confident one. And she's kind of broken right now. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. Again, like as I said at the beginning, I think every episode of this season is just getting better and better, as likewise every season is getting better and better for Discovery. Even with the slight annoyances, I've enjoyed it a lot. Basically, I've been really happy with how this season's been playing out. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's really finding its own feet, and I just can't wait to see what happens from episode to episode. What's going to happen in the next episode? Let's find out. I want to see more of Adira Tal. Find out, there was a bit of coldness between her and Charles Vance. Let's find out what the relationship was there. I'd like to see them go on being sent on like some proper Starfleet missions, like explore strange new worlds, seek out new life, new civilizations, all that stuff. I'd love to see that start happening. But it is very clear that it's going to be Discovery that is going to try and be. I mean, obviously it was. That's what Saru talked about, is they're trying to restart the Federation, the renaissance of the Federation. And it's clear that, Discovery is going to be the core of that, because they still have that 23rd century hopefulness, and they've brought it almost 1,000 years in the future where it's gone, and it's going to be great to see how that plays out, because so far, the Trill, they're in. Earth, potentially back. So it'll be cool to see how that works out, and let's find out what that music is. So that's what I thought of this episode of Star Trek Discovery, Die Trying. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, or come and join the Discord, or find me on social media and just have a conversation. All the links are in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and also hit alert so you get a notification every time one of my videos goes live. And of course, come and follow me on Twitch, where I'm streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks for listening, guys. See you soon.